Hello, it's Emily from the Palos Park Library, and we are back again with another Cooking with a Librarian. Today, we're going to be making pumpkin pie blondies. They are vegan. Don't be scared. It just means that they don't have any eggs or anything, which means you can leave them on the counter for a while and they won't go bad as quickly. So, what you're going to need is flour, brown sugar, white sugar, 1 can of pumpkin puree. I think the standard is 15 ounces, baking soda, baking powder, a neutral oil. The recipe calls for canola oil, but I just use grapeseed, so anything like vegetable oil that doesn't have a strong flavor. Dried ginger, ground ginger. You could use raw ginger as well, grate it, and then just put it in with your wet ingredients. Cinnamon, vanilla, nutmeg, a little bit of salt, and then the recipe calls for whole cloves, ground cloves, but you could substitute that with Jamaican allspice, which is what I do. Okay, so that's all you need, and let's get started. Okay, so first we're going to start with our dry ingredients. I already have 2 cups of white flour, a 1/2 cup of white sugar, and then a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Next, I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And right after that, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Then a 1/2 teaspoon ground cinnamon. And a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, which is my Jamaican allspice replacement. And this bottle doesn't have a lid, so there have been times where I have dumped half of it in, which definitely changes the flavor. Finally, we have 3 more, our ground ginger. If you don't have this, you could go to like someplace like Pete's Fresh Market, but I think most places will have ground ginger. It's not essential, but it does add a good flavor if you don't have it in your pantry. A 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. These are all your pumpkin spices. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. This might take me a while. Let's see if I can unscrew this. This smells so good when it goes into the oven. It's that typical like a pumpkin pie smell where you have all these good flavors coming in together. And whenever I make it, everyone in my house comes in just to see what's in the oven. I'm going to try to break up the clumps of brown sugar that are sticking together. Mix this evenly. Okay, so now I have all my dry ingredients mixed in pretty well, and I only have 3 more things to add. So now you have all your wet ingredients, and we'll start with our pumpkin puree. This puree gives it a nice orange color when it comes out. Have my puree. Now I'm going to add my oil, which is 1/4 cup. So here we go. 1/4 cup. And finally, the vanilla extract, which you're going to put in 1 tablespoon. This recipe is pretty quick. Most of the ingredients you can find in your pantry. So, there we go. So, it's just a matter of measuring them out, throwing them in, and mixing it up. It takes, once you have everything mixed, it'll only be a short time in the oven. Okay, so now we have, just after a couple minutes of mixing, everything is all compiled and it's ready to go into my greased loaf pan. So this is really a quick recipe. It doesn't take too long, and when you throw it in the oven, it's done before you know it. And it smells so good. And like I said before, this has like no eggs in it, this batter, so you don't have to feel worried about eating this straight out of the remnants of your bowl. Okay. So I'm going to smooth out the last couple bits. And now this is ready to go into the oven, 375 for 20 minutes. My oven's a little wonky, so sometimes I leave it in for 25. But you'll smell it when it's ready, and it does super well. And earlier I made some muffins, so this is what the finished product looks like. I made 12 of these, or you can make one loaf with the same amount. But trust me, this is such a good recipe. You will love it. Your family will love it, as long as you like pumpkin. And I hope you guys tune in next week for our next Cooking with a Librarian video. See you later. Bye.